Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, it's only a matter of time. The Democrat leadership simply can't let the crisis go to waste. Now, what am I talking? What do I mean by that? Let's go back. I'm unaware that any industrialized nation, any other in the world, has hijacked this healthcare crisis as an excuse to fundamentally transform their energy mix. But that's exactly what's happening here. Now, even China, we talk about China and it focuses on renewables. That's true. But at the same time, they're investing, they're putting, if you look at this headline, they're talking about putting an investment in coal-fired power plants is equal to or better than the renewables. They're going to be producing enough coal-fired power plants, the equivalent of all of the Eastern European Union. So there's where we are. Now, if we're trying to represent we're sensitive to people losing their job, where was that compassion over the years as the coal industry all across America? In 26 states, we mine coal. What happened to them when they lost a very similar number of jobs with it? What about towns like Hazard, Kentucky, Gillette, Wyoming, or Welch, West Virginia? Welch, West Virginia is an example. It only has 1,700 people. There are no other job opportunities in Welch, West Virginia. And they're sitting there with a poverty rate of 27%. There are only 1,700 people living in the town. It's got a 35% minority population. But yet, if we fulfill this mission of going to 100% renewables, what happens to Welch, West Virginia, or Hazard, Kentucky, or Gillette, Wyoming? I think we have a moral obligation to protect them. But let me switch my question now to Dr. Foss, because I've been listening to this diatribe from the other side on this for close to 10 years. Dr. Foss, can you assure the American public that if our country does indeed achieve 100% renewables, once we reach that, that we will have no more wildfires, no more hurricanes, no more droughts, and the oceans won't rise? Can you say yes or no?
I don't think anybody could make that claim.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're saying that we've got to do this so that we can achieve. We won't have wildfires on the West. Those wildfires are horrible. But don't try to tell me as an engineer that this is the first time we've had wildfires. Go back through the record and look at some of the past. They're horrible right now. I understand that. But the idea is being perpetrated to the American public that if we go to 100% renewables, we'll stop the wildfires. We'll stop the hurricanes. We won't have that hurricane season on the East Coast anymore. We won't have droughts. Thank you for your answer on that. Let me go to a second question then. Also, I think you've touched close to it. I want to understand, because by 2035, we're going to be, the Democrat leadership is trying to go to 2035. There will be 100% carbon-free emissions at our power plants. So my question is, that means we're going to rely on renewables, which is eventually, that's fine. We want to be at renewables eventually, but we need this bridge of using our fossil fuels to bridge to that. So my question is, by 2035, will we have enough domestically produced, and that's the operative, domestically produced critical minerals to produce 100% of our power generation with renewable resources in just the next 10 years, 15 years? Do you think we can do that?
No, the issue, of course, is not just the raw material supply, but also the manufacturing capacity.
Can you amplify more on that, if you could, please? I've got a minute. I want people to understand that I know the goal is aspirational, but when they put it in a statute by 2035, are we going to be able to achieve that? And the fact is, what effect is that going to have on droughts, wildfires, and there is none, as I can understand.
You're asking a tough one. I mean, the problem is this: there's a lot of uncertainty, and I think that people want to do things that they feel provide us humans with some control, and I think that's understandable. I think the political debate is what makes the most sense. Given
what gets on the most votes when they gin up their base. Isn't that what this is all about? Ginning up your liberal base to attack fossil fuels.
And I'm not privy to the strategies of.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I've run out of time on this. I yield back the balance of my time. Thank you.